The future of cryptocurrency hangs in the balance once again as Biden's Treasury nominee says Bitcoin is of particular concern for terrorist financing and money laundering. Janet Yellen, the former 15th chair of the Federal Reserve, plans to crack down on the use of crypto as she becomes the first female Treasury Secretary. She's also the first Treasury Secretary that looks like the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2. Apple warns to keep the iPhone 12 at least 6 inches from pacemakers. Something about the new magnetic back glass compartment? I don't know. Yeah, put it up to your fucking head, though, you know? And CNN wants to cancel YouTube independent content creators because their ratings are, again, in the toilet. Turns out no one really gives a shit about the breakthrough story on the incoming president's dog. Who would have guessed?
Wow.
We wouldn't have. We would not have guessed. All that shit and a whole bunch more. This is the Too Soon Podcast.
First, unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Too Soon Podcast. Yeah! It's the podcast no one asked for.
Ah, yes!
Your weekly dose of dark theater
Launch over it.
and any other dumb shit we come up with.
This guy is fucking stupid!
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now.
Boom, let's jump right into it. Socioeconomic collapse. Joe Biden's German Shepherd. I want to kill myself solely because my dog looks exactly like one of Joe Biden's dogs.
I had the thought of an entire news report just to make Joe Biden seem like a normal fucking person because he has a dog. That's just so stupid. Like, it just, to me, it's like some kind of like 1930s smear campaign, or like somebody's like, it's one good thing about him. He's got a dog.
He's a person with a dog. Oh, there's like so he's got 2 German Shepherds. And I thought it was really funny. So I saw a piece on, the dogs. And then they were like, look at all the former president's dogs. Like, that's the news now. That's what the news is going to be.
Well, they had they had an interview with the kennel that he adopted one of them at.
Okay.
Like, you got to go that far into it, really?
Yeah, it's unnecessary, but I thought it was funny that they were like, the Trump administration was the first administration in this many years that didn't have any dogs. It's just reminding me of that Dennis Reynolds, like, Wolf Cola scene with the dog.
Wow, I have never met a person who does not like dogs before.
Yeah, well, there are plenty of us out there, Chet. Okay, trust me, we're just afraid to admit it because we feel like we're going to be judged by people like you.
All right, so if Donald Trump did have a dog, what kind of dog would he have? What energy does that man emit in dog form?
Yorkie.
Are you sure?
It's going to be a small dog. Chihuahua, maybe? Wouldn't that be?
His wife would have one of those purse dogs, definitely.
Maybe.
Surprised she didn't.
That's a good question. What kind of dog would he have?
He definitely wouldn't have something that could take him out. Like, if he wouldn't have a pit bull or a Rottweiler or a Doberman.
Probably have one of Mike Vick's trained pit bulls. I don't know. I'm thinking probably a miniature dog of some sort.
Something
I think he would probably be like
stomp on if he didn't like it.
Give me a new one. Stomp. No, I think it would be more like the taco salad photo. It'd probably be a Chihuahua, and he'd be like, I love Mexicans.
Oh my God. That picture, we need to talk about that picture, how it's literally just meat and cheese. There's nothing else in there.
It's accurate, though. It's accurate. Hey, so that's funny, though, because like on the subject, somebody showed me this TikTok video, and it was this super butch lesbian, and she's like, I guess her wife is coming up to her, and she's like, they're making something for their son's 8th birthday or 9th birthday or something like that. And she's like, we're having a taco party for whatever this kid's fucking name is. I don't know. And she's like, honey, what are you making him? And it's like, she's like, I'm making him tacos al pastor.
I'm raising a son who will appreciate good tacos. And so when he says tacos, I'm not going to give him ground beef and American cheese and flour tortillas.
Like plebeians.
I'm going to make him a spit of meat, roast it for 2 hours at a nice temperature, raise it to broil, get the crispy ends, and shave it off and put it on a tortilla, and he's gonna like it.
And she's got like sliced pork on kebabs, like on a Trumpo stand, pretty much like getting ready to put it into the oven. And she's like, honey, he's 9 years old. You could have just put beef in a tortilla. He would have been happy with it. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm learning to appreciate, though, the people that go for the meat and cheese. That's what I'm saying, though. I don't know why. I'm learning to appreciate that. It's like a slap in the face. I love it.
Well, you got to understand, though, maybe not in that vehicle. It's understandable. But, like, you have all these, like, good-ass cheeseburgers, and what's the only thing on them is meat and cheese. Like, if you have an amazing burger, it should just be a patty with cheese and mustard and pickles. That is like all you need on a burger. I will fucking die on that hill.
No, I agree with you. It kind of sucks that food is getting this way. Talked about it like a couple of podcasts ago where it's like getting so snobby that like people think that people attach so much like, I don't know, I think it's just because people started taking fucking pictures of their food. I think it's literally why. But it doesn't make any sense that like we're kind of dictating what is okay for food.
Right.
Based on what's popular. But I went to a place the other day. It was kind of like that, right? I got a $14 burger. And it was okay. But I think once you work in the food industry and you see the kind of shit they have in the kitchen, right? Like you see a box of salt and you see what kind of brand of salt that is. And you see who it's made by. And then you're just like, oh, this is where they're getting their meat from. So then you know, hey, you're getting the Cisco burger. You know what I mean? So that kind of threw me off right away. But I was like, okay, I'm spending $14 for a Cisco burger. This better be the shit. And I got this goddamn burger, dude. It didn't have any fucking ketchup on it. And I was like, what the fuck? Wait a second. You're going to actually overcook a hamburger to me. And then, like, on purpose, because I mean that's what it's all about. When you like smash a patty on a grill, it's got to be fucking well done. She's not gonna put any fucking ketchup on it.
Was it a double? If it's
it was. It was. That's kind of what their thing was like smash burgers. And
that's a thing though, because the restaurant I worked at prior to my current job, they went from frozen patties to the semi-fresh smash burger. That's hard to say. That's a lot of
semi-fresh smash burger.
But
know, man. What do you think it's going to be like when they switch to all Impossible meat?
It's if they have it with like, well, I don't know if they'll switch to all, but I think the whole thing, like, you got Taco Bell saying they're going to get Beyond.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
But I just wish people would understand there's cross-contamination that you cannot avoid in that situation. It's never going to be 100% what it says on the menu.
That's a good point. I mean, like Impossible meat, all that kind of stuff, like the meat substitutes, they're not good for you.
Well, it's going to come out of a vat from a steamer.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be kept properly because no one knows what the fuck it is or how to handle it.
I think that, I think vegans and vegetarians, I think you guys should just bleed the Amazon dry. I think that's what you need to do. Don't make meat substitutes that are going to kill you. Be healthy. Be a true vegan. I want you to drink the Amazon dry of all the almond milk. I want you to eat every possible scarce fruit out of every small village. Just take it to the next level. We want you to live forever. Yes, vegans, if you're listening to this podcast, you're going to be 175. You're going to be the age of a tortoise. That's what we're looking forward to. And this impossible meat, you're right, is not the answer. It's not the answer.
But I'm pretty sure almonds are one of those touchy things, just like honey with vegans, is because it has to do with the bees.
Just because it has to do with the bees.
Something with the bees, man.
Hit me with the bee argument. Go ahead. What's the bee argument?
Well, with honey, people question if it's a byproduct, but it's literally like spit.
These people that care about bees, man, they will be the first people to be out on a picnic and to fucking swat a bee. Okay? I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. They're the same people that are going to put a spider in a cup and then throw it outside until it gets stepped on. I just don't understand the logic. I don't get it.
If you're not going to step on that spider, somebody will. Spiders gotta die. Don't kill silverfish, though, because they eat spiders.
Dude, I like possums. Those are like my favorite animals right now because they eat everything. Like they fuck it all up, man. And like ticks are the ones that worry me, you know, because like there's so many weird, and like you kind of mentioned earlier, like cross-contamination. Not many people know like how many foodborne illnesses can fuck you up and like how common they are. Like how situationally you can get a foodborne illness and actually live with it for like in your intestines for a long time, and you get, dude, your immune system's bad enough, you'll die. You know what I mean? There's people who've died.
I don't know how many times we had to recall romaine lettuce for like I don't know, was it E. coli breakout?
Yeah, I mean that happens all the time, man. You got to look at where they're picking. Yeah, where they get this mass crop of lettuce, you know, it's just like where they always get it, you know, there's, you got to think, man, these people got to shit somewhere, you know what I mean? And they do, or they shit, they don't wash their hands, you know, it's all food handling, you know, and a lot of restaurants and a lot of companies and corporations, they have to have, you know, the Department of Agriculture or the FDA or the USDA and all those kind of companies that are subsidiary companies of the government to manage and spectate that safety precaution is being followed. You know that, you know, as do I. But like, come on, how much of that's really happening? You know what I mean? And like,
at the end of the day, they're like,
you scratch your ass, you pick some lettuce, and that's how it happens. Order. Exactly. Yeah, you gotta fill those orders. And it's kind of like with avocados, man. Like I think that's one that probably happens a lot, you know, because people don't think like what are they growing in a tree? You know, like that's what I always think about. It's like limes, avocados, there's like all this shit that kind of grows into a tree. Birds shit on it. You know, then they don't think when they get their shit and it's handled a bunch. Well, it's like, oh, well, you eat the inside. It's like when you drag your knife through it, you don't. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You eat everything from the outside to the inside. So, there's plenty of cases that you and I both know of where people just get fucking ravaged by parasites. But with the whole impossible meat thing, it's going to be interesting, like you said, to see if it does become a mainline thing, because I really think it will at Taco Bell specifically. I think that the vegans and the vegetarians have like a stronghold on Taco Bell, and they're going to lean into that as hard as they can.
I'm worried about the shelf life of this, like,
because it can't be long. It can't be long at all. Have you ever?
But you know they're going to stretch it.
For sure.
We've both worked in restaurants, man. People stretch shit all the time.
Okay, so let's talk about this. This is interesting. I kept an Impossible Whopper in my fridge for 8 weeks. Okay, and I will tell you what it looked like when it was 8 weeks old. It was a legitimate goo. I'm talking like
dematerialized.
Like there's some sort of white material started to separate from the patty, and then it turned into a goo substance. And it was really interesting. I didn't open it. I just kind of looked at it and studied it, and I was like, huh, this is interesting, before I threw it in the trash. And it made me think, man, maybe I should never eat that again.
Maybe it could have just been the acid from the tomato fucking it up.
I don't know. I don't care.
Dude,
You know what the
like-
sketchiest part is? The sketchiest thing is what they put into it to make it look like meat. That's the weirdest part. It's like some sort of crystalline dyed salt. And yes, when you that's the trick. When it actually cooks and sears like meat does, you know, you have fat searing and getting that caramelization. It's the Maillard's reaction. You know what I mean? That like crystalline effect.
Mhm.
And that's something that when you eat, your palate and your taste buds pick up on. But they tried to achieve that with this kind of salt substrate that they made. That's kind of just like how MSG's, brought into cooking and all that kind of shit, and is really into a lot of food, and people don't realize it. But
Umami.
yeah, it's the umami flavor exactly. But I don't know, man. That's honestly like the umami thing. It's like the addictive flavor. You know what I mean? Because like it's
Yeah,
just the
that's-
weird.
That's the
one.
reason MSG exists. That's the closest man-made idea of what umami is in a physical form.
Farming, all that kind of shit, man. It's so interesting. Like I think because I didn't grow up on a plant farm. I grew up on my grandparents had a 10-acre horse farm, and so we took care of livestock. But then when I became a teenager, I grew up working in the summers, and then on the weekends when I got into junior high and high school, I worked on this plant farm, and we would pick everything there. So I kind of got an idea, even myself, of being out in a farm and having to do that every day. Dude, it's a lot of work. It's an insane amount of work. And then you think about all the people you're feeding, you know what I mean? And then you keep working there and you see how the orders just never stop. And like, this is where the food comes from, you know what I mean? And it's real, like I think that genuinely people who want to be that connected to that type of world and to actually eat their food fresh, and then, kind of some of the people that want to speak out against the farming corporations, they need to go work in a farm,
Right.
like you need to go experience that.
Not in your fucking 6x6 Soho garden.
Right. I'm not talking about your goddamn downtown rooftop garden.
Yeah.
Like, go work on an actual farm. Like, go sweat your ass off in the middle of a field, just weeding crop, just weeding, getting stung by bees. See if you fucking like the bees then when they're stinging your ass. I don't know, man. It's just like it's one of the arguments too that like I have nothing against vegans. I don't have anything against people. I don't give a fuck what you eat. It doesn't matter to me.
I just don't think food is a worthy thing to.
It's survival. It doesn't matter.
You don't need to go on a crusade for everything.
Like, are we going to get like so diverted, like mentally, that we're going to make some different form of water to ingest that people are going to be like, but excuse me, I only want this type of water.
Listen,
I mean, we kind of already have that, but
I'll tell you what I want out of food. I want the Fifth Element microwave pill that turns into a turkey dinner.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's all I want.
That would be cool.
Mila Jovovich fucking downing an entire turkey.
That could be like a
stupid shit on a TV.
That would have to be something that like AI would create, because it would have to be like an augmented reality type thing. And they would also have to make your body feel full, so you'd be taking some sort of drug.
Hey, man. It's like that scene in The Matrix with the steak.
Oh,
he knows it's a program, but it's telling him it tastes fucking delicious.
I'm thinking of SpongeBob with the holographic meatloaf again. It's the third time this week. Holy fucking shit. Anyway, man, I saw the shit about CNN. They were in. Have you ever looked up Brian Stelter? Have you seen this new guy that's on CNN?
No.
Look his face up right now. Just Google Brian Stelter's face.
Is he a giant fucking piss baby?
He looks like he wears adult diapers. And I don't say that often. I'm not one of those guys.
How do you fucking spell his name?
I don't know what happened, but my friends started just going poo poo pee pee for some reason. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it got funny, but I guess diapers got funny.
Yeah,
it's kind of creeping me out. I don't understand that. But Stelter kind of reminds me of a guy who would wear diapers.
Fucking George Costanza looking motherfucker.
You think he looks like Costanza?
A little bit. It looks like he sounds like him too.
He has got this beautiful acting voice. It's great for daytime news. And I forget who he had on. He had this guy on. He had this guy on there talking about diverted media and like coming out against. Pretty much the concern here is information, which is terrifying, right? Like people don't see that as a terrifying thing, but the whole argument they have, the entire argument they have is like, we need to do something about alternative media because people are getting, essentially he's saying people are getting informed. And that's just not good. They need to come here to get informed.
It's really hard because what's happening is people are able to seek out the information that makes them feel good. That is what's happening is that people have so much choice now. They can choose what their news sources are. They can choose what influencers they want to follow. And they can try to seal out anything that helps them question that. And I think that gets to a really core issue with how our freedoms as Americans and the way we've treated press freedom in the past is being abused by these actors. In that we have given a lot of leeway, both in the traditional media and on social media, to people to have a very broad range of political views. And it is now in the great economic interest of those individuals to become more and more radical. And I think that one of the places you can see this is on the fact that you now have competitors to Fox News on their right, OANN and Newsmax, which are carried by all the major cable networks, who are trying to now outflank Fox on the right, because the moment Fox introduced any kind of realism into their reporting, immediately a bunch of people chose to put themselves into a sealed ecosystem. And they can do that both on cable, they can do it online, and that becomes a huge challenge of figuring out how do you bring those people back into the mainstream of fact-based reporting and try to get us all back into the same consensual reality.
And can you? Is that possible? Seems like that's an open question.
It's hard. I mean, I think we got to do a couple things. One, there needs to be an intentional work by the social media companies collaborating together to work on violent extremism in the same way they worked on ISIS. When I started at Facebook in 2015, the #1 challenge from a content perspective was the abuse of social media by the Islamic State. And there was a collaboration between the tech companies and between the tech companies and law enforcement to make it impossible for them to use the internet to recruit and radicalize mostly young Muslim men at the time around the world. Now we're talking about domestic audience in the United States. And the challenge is going to be partially that, ISIS did not have a domestic constituency in the United States Congress. But there is over half of the Republicans in Congress voted to overturn the election. And there will be a continual political pressure on the companies to not take it seriously. So I think first you have to focus on those violent extremists, and those companies have to be brave in that way. And second, we have to turn down the capability of these conservative influencers to reach these huge audiences. There are people on YouTube, for example, that have a larger audience than daytime CNN. And they are extremely radical and pushing extremely radical views. And so it's up to the Facebooks and YouTubes in particular to think about whether or not they want to be effectively cable networks for disinformation. And then we're going to have to figure out the OANN and Newsmax problem. That these companies have freedom of speech, but I'm not sure we need Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, and such to be bringing them into tens of millions of homes. This is allowing people to seek out information if they really want to, but not pushing it into their faces, I think is where we're going to have to go.
That's bad. You can't spin that in a way that sounds good.
They're literally saying things like, we have YouTube channels that have just as many views as like a daytime news program like MSNBC, but like they get more views than them. And it's like, well, then there's a problem, like I don't need to go down the fucking rabbit hole of fuck yous and what you've done.
It's mainly because you can't fight a ratings war when the ratings are up front. Like there's an actual view count on YouTube.
It's exactly. And I've seen a couple of them in the last, 14 days, I'd say, on YouTube specifically, a lot of like-dislike ratios that have been manually changed Now, I mean, I always take those at face value when I see something on social media that's a picture and is circled and said, all right, here's the timestamp I took of this screenshot. You know what I mean? It's really easy to doctor one of those.
The red circle with an arrow pointing.
Exactly. Like, you got to be careful with those. But there have been a lot of them now. And it's like YouTube videos of like just Biden speaking or his press secretary speaking, and like the likes are 1.9 thousand likes.
Well, yeah, I saw something
likes.
like this the other day. Speaking of that, of Joe Biden, it was apparently he was like signing something, and people just like the headline made it seem like he was complaining about the rolling out the COVID vaccination, and it said Biden says to a reporter, "Give me a break."
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But I looked it up like on YouTube, just like that, and there was like 8 videos with the same title. CNN's was at the top, but there was like a bunch underneath it with the same thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I looked at the video. He doesn't even sound like out of pocket. He's just like, "It's coming, dude. Just stop."
Yeah. I don't know. It's super weird that they're gonna hold people to that standard now. You know, I don't like even thinking about the idea that, like, I don't want to give these people a break, is kind of what I'm saying. I don't think they deserve it, especially when they're like coming out and just putting this shit onto public broadcast. Like, it's gotten so bad that like the companies that they are owned by, like, just give you an idea, like to have internet in your house right now, for me at least, is $80 a month. Just like basic internet. If I called and I was like, hey, I want TV and internet. Well, sir, you are lucky customer number what the fuck ever. Would you like to sign up for our cable package? And how many TVs do you have in your house? 7? Okay, let's get on all those motherfuckers. And we'll bring a tech out from fucking 12 in the morning to 12 at night. Somewhere in there. Please be available. And your bill's going down to what, like $50, $40? So it's just like, they know what they're doing. They need the ratings. They need you to look at it. It's kind of creepy. It's awesome though, but that's not the way they're getting their shit anymore, you know? And they're gonna fucking go belly up. It's great. I'm all about it. But the war on information lately, dude, is fucking crazy. Like, if you're not like paying attention to the fact that all of these companies are doing really weird shit to combat fake news and misinformation, and it's not for your own good. Like, Twitter today dropped this thing called Birdwatch, and essentially what it's going to do is it's complex system that is to fight misinformation. But to say, their idea of it is, they'll put a tweet up that says dolphins are used by the US government for spying on people. And then the tweet goes out of control and gets really viral, right?
Mm-hmm.
And getting all this comments, and people are like, I think so too, and all this shit. And they're like, it's very hard for us to do. Like, this is what I hate about Twitter. It's like, it's just so goddamn hard for us to fucking keep up with this shit. And like, what are we supposed to do?
Just let it go, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Let it go. Let it the fuck go. And then but people will die. Yeah, no shit, dude. Like, people will die, yes. But yeah, you should have some steps in place. Like, if there's some crazy shit that needs attention, you should have a person doing the job. That's all I'm saying. This is what bothers me.
Review.
Hire a person. Stop hiring a fucking algorithm. Why not pay a person to sit there and monitor things? Gee, I don't know. That might be a good idea. And that's me being pretty fucking generous, because from a standpoint of, hey, you shouldn't be able to infringe on that right in general, I'm giving you some goddamn leeway.
Something with a moral compass that's not a line of code, please.
It doesn't make sense that they would do that other than that they know they're just trying to force something, like just to force the hand of, hey, this is the next step. Fuck you. Oh, we're not more powerful than the government. We're a private corporation. Look at all these people we have defending us on our website, telling people, Twitter's a private corporation and they decide what you can do, but you don't have to go there. And go fuck yourself, dude. Like, I'm so tired of that bullshit argument in the Twitter comments of every major article, you know what I mean, that has something to do with Twitter. It's just people jumping to defend a corporation. Like, what the fuck happened to people where they're like, oh, these people are my friends? Yeah, like the big pharmaceutical companies, the companies that the government's giving fucking financial bailouts and money to for campaigns. They're on my side. Like, I'm on their side. Like, I got their back.
That's like a farmer like thanking Monsanto for the fucking $300,000 line of debt.
It makes no goddamn sense.
Thank you for letting me plant corn. Oh, what? I can't replant it? Fuck.
Thanks for the corn, asshole. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, you want to give me a tractor too? All the equipment I'll ever need? But you want my life too? Yeah, I love you. Thanks, Monsanto. Ting.
God damn, dude. Twitter's new thought police. It's gonna be weird. So the way it works is you make a note to a tweet. So have you seen all these little notes that we've been seeing? They've been rolling out this technology over the last fucking 6 months to a year, and now they've just handed it to us and said, yeah, this is a thing you can use now. But have you seen the little tips at bottoms of articles that are like, this may be false information, you know what I mean? Or like, this election fraud is very rare, exceedingly rare. Like, did anybody find it weird that happened? That like so many tweets and so many pieces of information were like, oh, we got to put this thing on it so people don't fucking worry about it. And then
Jesus Christ.
And then it turned to, oh, let's kick those people off. But then let's reinstitute this plan, with monitoring fake information. It's like, I don't understand why. There's a video of, I can't say her name. I think it's Vija or something like that. But she is, HR lady #1 for Twitter. Just like, have you ever met like a human resources lady?
No.
Like, they all are just the same. Like, if I can put it to you this way, human resources as a department, all it really does is cause more problems. Like, all they try to do is figure out people, and they can't really do that. It's kind of simple, right? Like, when you're a corporation and you hire people and you have human resources, like, they deal with the inner workings of humans within the company and their relationships and how they act and, what they get paid and blah, 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 right? But then they also do outreach to people to get involved in their company and stuff. So, or they really make policy. That's what they do. So they kind of dictate how the company acts. But there's an interview of these two on one of Joe Rogan's episode, and they go in on them, dude, and it's fucking awesome. Like, they've cracked the code, you know what I mean, with these people publicly on a podcast for like 3 fucking hours. So what that did, which is awesome, is it created this conversation that had so much content in it that when you can call these people on their bullshit now, you know what I mean? Like, when they're saying, we're not doing that, we're not aiming to do this, you know what I mean? Like, to crack down on false information by just censoring people, you know what I mean? Or just allowing random people to come in and censor your shit. Because that's what it is, man. This like notation on a tweet, that's all it's going to be. It's just going to be somebody who doesn't like your idea and then says, but no, because of this. And then it's normalizing. It's renormalizing the situation. Just take a step into the future. Oh, I saw this little tag. It's bullshit. And I keep scrolling. I don't engage. I don't fucking have a conversation. I just ignore it because a corporation let people who are cops, that's what these people who are going to fucking comment on your shit and say, who gives a shit if you say that dolphins are fucking controlled by the government? Who fucking cares? Maybe, just fucking maybe, like they have used dolphins to attach fucking mines to fucking reach out Russian submarines. What if that's a real fucking thing? I don't know. I don't know that. And you're stopping the conversation by just saying, don't look there. It's cool. We did it for you. What happened in the fucking country over the last 2 years where people were just like, don't worry, don't look into it. We did it for you.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel that at all? It seems like the truth and what's happening. Just don't worry. We got it. Like when Joe Biden raped that fucking girl. This woman, Tara Reid. It's a real thing. We were supposed to believe all women. Okay? Like we watched the whole narrative of an entire movement that was good. We watched it fall apart. And they cucked Joe Biden live on television. They had, I can't remember what her name was. They had this ball buster come on and interview Joe Biden about sexual allegations against a woman. And if you haven't seen the video, I beg that you find it and watch it. Have you not seen this, Casey?
Nope.
It is wild. Watch the whole fucking thing if you can. But she presses him, dude. She doesn't dick around. It's like 13 minutes long. And she gets into him and says, hey, why not look at the archives in Delaware at the state college where this woman worked to see if she actually filed a complaint with the department? And he, on live television, says, there's no need to do that because it's not there and it did not happen. It was not a thing. It didn't happen. And that's it. That's final.
Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reid?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened. I don't remember any type of complaint she may have made. It was 27 years ago. And I don't remember, nor does anyone else that I'm aware of. And the fact is that I don't remember. I don't remember any complaint ever having been made.
You said that women should be believed. You said this: for a woman to come forward in the glaring lights of focus nationally, you've got to start off with the presumption that at least the essence of what she is talking about is real. Whether or not she forgets the facts, whether or not it's been made worse or better over time. She's going to be going on national television on Sunday. Tara Reid is coming forward in the glaring lights. To use your words, should we not start off with the presumption that the essence of what she's talking about is real? She says you sexually assaulted her.
Look, from the very beginning, I've said believing women means taking the woman's claims seriously. When she steps forward and then vet it, look into it. That's true in this case as well.
Your Senate documents at the University of Delaware were supposed to go public, and then they were resealed. The access was changed. I know that you're saying any HR complaints could be in the National Archives, but why not reveal your Senate documents that are being held in Delaware? I know there's 1,800 plus boxes, but if she believes and she alleges that the complaints may be hidden there, why not strive for complete transparency? Why was the access to those documents sealed up when they were supposed to be revealed?
It would not be at the University of Delaware. My archives do not contain personal files. My archives contain documents, and when I say personal.
So, for complete transparency, why not push for the release of any documents with Tara Reid's name on them, whether it's at the University of Delaware or the National Archives?
First of all, let's get this straight. There are no personnel documents. I'm not going to question her motive. I'm not going to get into that at all. I don't know why she's saying this. I don't know why after 27 years, all of a sudden this gets... At the end of the day, it has to be looked at. These claims are not true. There's no cooperation. I mean, they're not true.
Mr. Vice President,
I don't know what else I can say to you.
Well, I'm going to try and ask many different ways.
But the principle is we're just believing him. We're taking words from one person here and saying, okay, they said that was it. We don't need to check. Don't look there. What the fuck is that? What logic is that? Like, that's like, well, across the street, you know what I mean? And I won't get hit by a car. Hey, let me look to you, Casey. You're standing right next to me. Hey, can I cross right now? Is it good? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, bud. Boom, get hit by a fucking car. I don't get it. It's so simple.
I mean, that's a world without any kind of skepticism or healthy cynicism.
They shut us inside for almost a year now. They say it's okay to come out now. And then they fucking literally try to tell us, oh, hey, I know you're addicted to this form of communication, but don't say anything that's wrong, or we'll tell you to not fucking communicate on here ever again. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
I just think if you don't go through your day and experience something at least one time that makes you raise an eyebrow, like, wait a minute, hold the phone. Like, if you don't have that kind of, like, you know, that light switch in your head that's like, hey, you need to, like, you know, ease back on the automation a little bit. Don't let everything do everything for you. Fucking take a moment, be a fucking human, make a mistake, call your dad, whatever.
Call your dad. Call your dad. Did you see the last picture I sent you of call your dad?
No.
God damn it. Look in your text threads right now. See if you can find it. It's I could probably sent it to you about 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of call your dad situations out there. This week's call your dad situation is pretty great, actually. I sent this one to Casey. When the hell was that? Last night?
A lot of people got something to say about the fact that I got 6 kids with 6 different men. So I'm just going to tell y'all why it is better to do it this way. If I had 6 kids with all the same dude, I get 34% of his income, which is only $680 a month. If I got 6 kids with 6 different dudes, I get 17% from each one of them, which is $340 a month from each one. $340 a month times 6 baby daddies is $2,040. So why don't you have 6 baby daddies?
I love how she just lays it down. Like, it doesn't even, like, it's buttery smooth in her delivery. Like, she's like, if I had 6 baby daddies.
The whole thing about that is questionable, though, because it's so effortless. And the fact that she's wearing a mask that's, like, cut down the middle.
Yeah, she's wearing a mask that's literally got a hole in it. It's still fucking funny. It's still a good call your dad moment, even if it's true. And there are people out there like that for sure.
This is like an audio reminder for me to call my dad too. I'm not just saying that.
I saw one good. I was trying to find it for today's show. I couldn't find it. But there was a call your dad moment that I saw and I was like, whoa, holy shit. But it was a Reddit post. Oh my God, maybe I do have it. It was a Reddit post for, I think it was like my dad. Okay, so it said something like this. I can't remember it word for word, but it goes, my dad was a Trump supporter. I hated him. We never got along. He died of cancer in October. His ashes have been, I had him cremated against his will. His ashes are in my garage right now and are waiting for the next trash day.
Jesus
and I was
Christ.
like, holy shit, dude. I just couldn't fucking believe it.
Listen, I have a vendetta. Not really a vendetta. That's a bad word. But there's like an honestly a good reason for me to not like my mother. But I don't think I would treat her that badly.
Right? Yeah. That was a new level to me. It came as like a, you know, all these people were like, all right, it's time to heal now. Everybody should unify. And I was like, whoa. Like I saw that right after that. And I was like,
that's nuts, dude.
Yikes. Like fucking yikes.
That would make like fucking Charles Manson cringe, man. That's bad.
It's really, really,
I'm gonna
really
throw my
bad.
dad in the trash.
Yeah, like it's if you let that do that to your life that much, there's something else going on. You know?
I mean, to be honest, to quote Frank Reynolds, when I'm dead, just throw me in the trash. I don't care, but if you're gonna do that to your dad, that's fucked up.
Bang me, eat me, grind me up into little pieces, throw me in the river. Who gives a shit? You're dead, you're dead.
Yeah, I mean that's. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with it, but it's just like it makes me wonder why. You know what I mean? Because everybody has an argument. You know, I maybe it's because hating Trump so much was like such a fashionable thing too that like you had to. It was like being tough. You know what I mean? You had to fucking somehow display that you were tough. You know, so you were on the team. Hey, I'm part of the team, everybody.
Not everybody has
me.
experienced Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, okay? They're not hardened people.
It's true, though. It really is true. I mean, everybody, like I said, everybody should work on a farm, should experience a Modern Warfare 2 game lobby, or maybe like a Halo lobby or something like that.
God. Have you ever been teabagged in a game before? Do you know how fucking infuriating that shit is?
Oh, shit. I don't know, dude, but it kind of makes me think like with that logic that these people have, you know what I mean? Where they're like, I'm on the team so much, like the Teamsters, that
I hate that word.
The Teamsters. It's a 10-cent word through into the podcast. Oh my God. I feel like they tend to be controlled by fear, you know? To the point where the fear is like it manifests in like multiple ways, maybe not just one, you know, like some people are so afraid of something that they just don't pay attention. You know what I mean? They turn the other cheek and then they still kind of go with the popular decision, you know what I mean? Because it's comfortable and safe. But then those other people are just like blinded by multiple fears at the same time. And like fear of not being accepted, fear of, you know, all this kind of shit. Like, oh, if I don't, like, oh, I might have to burn grandma's house down to get people to know that I voted for Biden. Just, hey, don't get me in trouble. Okay? No, I don't want people to, what's the worst thing I could do possible? Shit, what kind of dog does Trump have? I should kill one of those.
Wait,
he doesn't have a dog? Oh, fuck. Cats? What about cats? Will that work? Oh, shit.
He doesn't like animals?
I kill a Russian, like a Ukrainian bride, maybe, or something like that. Like it doesn't. I don't fucking get that. I don't understand that, and it kind of. I think it's like embedded in cancel culture. You know what I mean? I think that's really what it is. Like canceling, like publicly, like the fact that we started publicly executing people.
Did we?
You know what I mean?
Inadvertently fetishize being accepted.
What do you mean?
Like you gotta understand, people probably get off on the fact that they just wake up and say, like, think that they have nothing to worry about like that.
Yeah, you're right.
That's pretty bad, man.
Let me give you an example. Here's Will Wilkinson. It was a terrible fucking name. This is on the 12th of March. All right. Here goes Will Wilkinson. He tweets out, cancel culture, comma, LOL. All right.
Great start.
Boom. Here you go. Here it is. All right. That was, like I said, 12th of March, 2020. All right. Will Wilkinson, this stupid fucking dude should have been canceled on his name. I would have went with William at least. Or Wilhelm. January 20th, 2021. Here's a tweet he sent out. Excuse me. Here's the tweet. If Biden really wanted unity, he'd lynch Mike Pence. Whoa. And here's the last post of the. Here's the next day. January 21st, New York Times contributor loses think tank job over tweet suggesting Biden should lynch Mike Pence.
Oh, that's a touchy fucking thing to say on fucking Twitter.
How did that work out? That's what I'm saying, man. Like, you saying, did we get off on publicly executing people? Yes, we did. We totally did. But did people think that couldn't happen to them? For sure, they still do. You know? And the people that relish in it and enjoy it, Jesus Christ, dude.
Sadistic.
I understand that you've been canceled. I get that. Once you cancel one person like this, once you publicly execute them on the stand, I get, yes, there's some things people do. They should be drug into the sunlight and they should be held accountable for what they've done, especially if they broke the law. That's number one. But to sit there and to think you're not canceled, you're fucking wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You're canceled. I'm canceled. Your fucking mom's canceled. Your goddamn grandmother's canceled. We're all goddamn canceled. What do you mean, Josh? What do you mean we're fucking canceled? When you publicly execute a person based on their character or whatever defamation of their character, whatever, and you make them lose their job, make them lose their house, maybe their wife leaves them, their kid leaves them. Like that, there's no like, what's the word? Rewind from that?
Yeah.
It just goes on and on.
It's a slippery slope. Snowballs.
To your racist grandma. She's going to lose her job at the fucking VFW washing dishes. Because she screams obscenities back in the kitchen. And they hear her. And somebody from Yelp, you know, who works for the Yelp equity program, who wants to go see what the star rating of this restaurant's fucking equitable outreach is.
Bless anyone that tries to give a VFW and a Yelp review. Yeah, I didn't like their chicken fingers and fries, but they had free popcorn though. Big A+.
That's a real thing that Yelp's doing. I think we talked about that before, didn't we?
I think, I don't know. Yelp is fucking weird, bro.
You're going to have equitable ratings. Yeah, Yelp is if you don't know about this, Yelp did this thing. I don't know if it became a real thing. I don't use Yelp. They started rating people on their equity. They gave them an equity score, their restaurant, their business, whatever. If they felt that the person was racist or whatever, xenophobic, a whole other 10-cent word fucking list, if they felt people were that way, then they would flag them. And then your business would get a little strike or like a little...
That's reminiscent of something. That's a little Nazi Germany-ish.
Yeah, we're getting there, dude.
It's a little
we're actually
weird,
getting there,
bro.
We're getting there. I mean,
Here's
there's like
your
mass
gold star McDonald's on Carlisle Street. Fuck you.
My Grubhub driver felt threatened.
This is the last time I deal with your wink wink broken ice cream machine.
I will burn your fucking building to the ground. I will hire Antifa to fuck that goddamn McDonald's up.
Listen. Let me set the record straight with the ice cream machine. I've worked at McDonald's, guys. That thing has like scheduled maintenance, okay? It goes down to self-clean. You don't need a baby fucking ice cream cone at 1 a.m. Go to bed.
Damn. You don't think so?
No.
So it cleans itself.
Yeah. You gonna
That's
have a fucking
interesting.
15-year-old kid pull that apart and clean it?
Guess that makes sense because like 8 years ago, I always wondered that. You know what I mean? Because I thought they were just cleaning it themselves, and I was like, damn, they're fucking lazy. You know, put that shit back together. Let's go. Makes sense though. I feel that. Do you think anybody goes in there like 5 a.m. with breakfast and gets fucking ice cream cone?
No, I don't think they do that. They might now, since for some reason they sell everything when they started selling breakfast all day. They used to have it limited. Who knows, man?
I wonder what happens to a McDonald's that gets the flag, star on their Yelp.
They probably
profile.
can't. McDonald's probably owns Yelp. Who knows?
I can't wait till we have the actual demerit badges to wear around, shit like that. Just like, I mean, there's been talks of like a social credit score, like China has one. It's pretty common there, and
it's a fucking Black Mirror, bro.
I think it definitely could happen for sure. It is Black Mirror
on that.
Face plant, that one or something like that. Face dive or nose dive, something like that. It's a good episode of Black Mirror, but it kind of shows what would happen if you had a social credit score and how it would ruin your fucking life.
Do anything to be 5 stars, under 5 stars.
More numbers to rule my life by. It's a book by insert politician's name here that institutes this law. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, it'll probably get that way. Like, oh, you want the federal minimum wage? Oh, you want this UBI? Oh, yeah, it's all good, cool money. But hey, you got to follow the social credit score and make sure your social credit score is within this amount. How much does your social credit score go down when you get pulled over for a DUI?
The thing that would fuck me up about all that is not knowing why it goes down when it goes down. That's what would drive me insane if that were an actual thing. Like if I look on my Uber, my 5-star rating going down to 4.98, and I'm like, who the fuck gave me a 3-star rating? I don't talk. I don't do anything.
Dude. I mean, ratings in general, just a fucking stupid thing.
Yeah. But I'm saying the scale of it. Like, I'm bitching about it being on Uber. Like, who the fuck cares? What if it's like based on whether you get a down payment on a house or a fucking mortgage or some shit like that? That's gonna drive people to fucking do some wild shit. A lot of renegade activity is gonna go down.
Yes. I mean, let me tell you what, I'm kind of excited for the future. I really am. I'm amplified. I'm ready. I'm ready for like us to get our hands on the next wave of technology. I'm pretty excited for that. I'm trying to dive into that right now. I'm trying to really immerse myself in like the knowledge of like cryptocurrency, all that kind of shit. Like learning blockchain technology, understanding data as a means of not equity. Well, I guess equity. You know what I mean? Just owning some of your own data, and managing what you're putting out to websites using specific browsers, whatever. I've stopped using Google like altogether, other than Gmail, which I need to do eventually. And I'm already like, I've kind of tried distancing myself from some of that shit. Like I don't want anything to do with Google, Facebook anymore. To be honest with you, like just those two corporations in general, they need to fucking die. Like it's time for them to go away. So it's time to take my shit and my thoughts and use a different search engine when I'm questioning things. You know what I mean? So many people do that, and I don't think they realize they do that. But in that, I've been kind of interested in cryptocurrency. I've been learning that, and we just saw that they're going to tank. They're going to tank Bitcoin again. They're going to tank crypto again. And honestly, it doesn't surprise me. I thought it's what would happen. Bitcoin went up to what, $41,000 for one coin.
That's
like
so much.
2 weeks before Inauguration Day, like shit was just so tense that crypto just got that high, and currency just fucking took a nosedive. I think the US dollar for the first time actually like has been consistently dropping in value by like 0.8%. So we're starting to see some of these things hold true. And now Bitcoin's going to actually go down again, which I don't think is surprising, because I think what's going to happen with Bitcoin is a lot of these corporations like Facebook, a lot of these corporations like Google, like the ones that are too big for their britches, that literally have pissed off the Fed. Because to think that no one's going to come after Twitter for censoring people, you have other governments doing it right now. We've had the president of Mexico, who just came down with COVID, which is creepy. He came after Twitter and said, we're going to levy a lawsuit against them for essentially free speech, and all that kind of shit. There's a lot of people that are coming after these companies. They're losing a lot of money. I think what will happen is they know that Bitcoin is the future to build on. And by tanking the crypto market and the economy at the same time, and they still have a fuckload of money, they can divert all their money to Bitcoin, and they can divert a lot of their money to the blockchain. You know what I mean? And if they get to a point where the government really, or the Federal Reserve or whatever, or they decide, hey, we need a global currency. We need something to trade with. If this whole great reset, which is a real fucking thing, whether you believe it or not, if it actually happens and they decide to reset a world economy and we need a global currency, I would definitely believe it will be Bitcoin. This kind of makes sense, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. Facebook, Google, something crazy happens. One of the companies goes to shit and dies. Whatever. It's going to happen in our lifetime, I hope. I don't think we're going to be sitting here in like 50 years like we were with General Electrics and all those kind of companies that are still alive to this day that are funded by the fucking government. I don't think it's going to be like that for Facebook. I don't think it's going to be like that for Twitter, for Google, all that shit. I think eventually they die. They use their currency to go start something else on data because they own a fuckload of it. So I don't know, man. It's something I've kind of looked into investing in, obviously. And I think we're going to try and have somebody on to talk a little bit more about blockchain technology and crypto as we move forward, because if we think it's a good idea for you guys, we definitely will, try and help each other out in this situation as things move forward in the next couple of years with just even, I guess, the economy getting really weird. It seems like, honestly, we are close to a socioeconomic collapse. There is mass unrest across the globe at this point. That's not to make you scared, but it's also to inform you and understand that, hey, maybe we should start not looking at that number in the bank account that we have all the time as like, hey, we have as much of that. Because at a certain point, your assets, they need to be spread out and divvied out. So I think we have, Casey said we've got a mutual friend who has somebody who's pretty versed in crypto and the market. So we'll try and have him on to talk more about it.
Quite versed. I'm pretty sure he went to jail for it.
Great. I'm not at all like eligible to speak about how it works. And I'm sure that I probably fucked up even some of it in explaining how these corporations may use it, but it seems like it could be a bad thing. It seems like crypto could be a really, really bad thing. And I guess that's me saying is you think a global currency would be a bad thing. I think that a globalist government would be a bad thing. I do. I just do. I don't think we as a globe can be on the same page.
No.
There's no way.
No.
There's too many of us. There's too fucking many of us.
It's a fucking high school dynamic, man. Everyone's literally just trying to be the fucking captain of the football team. Shoving everybody in the lockers and shit.
That's what most politicians say, even. They feel that, that's how it is. It is a...
I made that close to that analogy, like, already. Like, we're just a fucking 80s movie.
Oh, God.
We just want to be Schwarzenegger.
It is really interesting to sit in this time and like just be talking about cryptocurrency. Pretty wild. KFC takes Bitcoin, I think. It's a couple places that take Bitcoin,
That'd
but
be wild.
I'm really hesitant about Bitcoin. I'm more interested to learn about Ethereum, which is there's a couple different forms of cryptocurrency.
But how upset would you be if you accidentally like got double charged on your Bitcoin?
It would suck, man. I mean, how would you feel if you had $60 million worth of fucking Bitcoin and you couldn't cash it out?
At one point, I had before the huge like influx of cryptocurrency, like this company called Coinbase was doing a thing with streamers on Twitch that if you signed up and set up like a wallet on their website, they would give you $5 in Bitcoin, hoping that you'd use it to sub to said streamer. So at one point, before the boom of Bitcoin, I had $5 in Bitcoin. And somewhere in a Coinbase account, I have like a fraction of a Bitcoin that's probably worth like $12 right now.
There you go. $12 I had a buddy who had I shit you not, this is dead serious. He had cashed his Bitcoin in 2013 or 14, somewhere around there. And it was like the highest it had been. And he cashed his Bitcoin at $110,000. So he had $110,000 worth of Bitcoin in that time. Now it had reached $41,000. So I don't know the amount of Bitcoin he had, but I know when he did cash his Bitcoin out, he started living pretty comfortably. Like he stopped really worrying about shit. It's pretty interesting. You know, I mean, it's not, and for me, it's honestly not about like getting rich because I don't really want money. You know what I mean? It's not really my thing. I'm not one of these people that's like, I want to retire when I'm 60 or fucking 40 or some shit. I don't really intend on ever stopping to do anything, you know? So we'll talk about it on the show. We'll get this guy on and we'll go from there. But you know, it is interesting to see a global government kind of heading our way and then seeing a global currency that's like about to take a dive for what, you know, it is kind of interesting. There were some pretty crazy, I saw some pretty crazy protests over the weekend. I think it was Saturday in the Netherlands or something like that. But dude, they have these police water cannons. Have you seen them?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, dude. They fucking shoot like a fire hose at you. And it's on a gun, like it's robot operated.
What? Was that like crowd deterrent?
Yeah, I mean, I think they use it for like a lot of people, but it fucks you up, man. I mean, it comes in.
I mean, water fucking hurts at the right speed, man.
Yeah, look at this video. I like the dude's big ass fucking gut.
Holy shit.
Right? That's what I'm saying, man. Like that shit comes out fast, dude.
I guarantee that water hitting him and him hitting that wall felt the same.
I want to see that be thought policed right there by Birdwatch. Birdwatch that video, Twitter.
Imagine
tell me it's fake.
Getting
actually getting hit in the face by a water hose isn't that harmful to you.
Holy fuck. Damn.
What were you saying, sir?
Well, he got laid out by fucking DASANI, bro. He just got smacked in the fucking mouth. It's like that Twisted Tea video, only this dude got hit in the face with water. But yeah.
He got laid out. He got laid out by DASANI.
He got hit in the face by the water, and then the other side of his face hit a wall. That dude's not getting up for a while.
That was in the Netherlands, man. There's some weird shit. And so places to look out for would be the Netherlands for sure, because they're getting ready to go under some crazy lockdown. I've been paying attention to Washington. Pay attention to what's going on in Tacoma. There's a lot of civil unrest in Tacoma. It's really weird right now. It's mostly led by the anti-fascist movement. But hey, I'm not saying the anti-fascists are far left. I don't know. I honestly could see the government being involved in the anti-fascist movement. Just a thought. Just moving forward with the amount of fascism in the country. And then I think there was Russia. Russia's one to look out for right now. I think there's some sort of, I saw this crazy ass video of the Russian Federation coming into arrest this woman who had been, I can't remember this guy's name. I think it was Alexei something, but he was leading a resistance in Russia against the Kremlin, and they arrested him after he came back from Germany, like a couple weeks ago. But they arrested this woman in public, man. She was taking like questions from the press, and like, you know, like that. You think that video is dystopian looking right there, of a guy getting shot in the face with a water cannon and getting like a definite concussion, operated by a robot. And then you see like the amount of police, like armed police, that just push through reporters like they're paper and just grab this woman on her head and put a hood over her head and just publicly fucking just take her and put her into a van and drove to an undisclosed location.
That's,
you know what I mean? It's absolutely just a person who's outspoken against their own government. We're in a bad spot, you know? So not to scare you, pay attention to those things going on. Pay attention.
You know what? I'd like to double back and combine two things that we hit and reference something. We talk about Taco Bell, right?
Yes.
We talk about the dystopian future, right?
Yes.
Y'all should watch Demolition Man. Because both those things happen in that movie. Taco Bell is the only restaurant left. And they thought that was a good idea.
Wish it was hot and now.
Oh,
Cookout.
fuck. Hot and now. That building's still standing in Hanover, I think.
I hope so. I fucking hope so. Holy hell.
This is Too Soon Podcast.
This is your brain on.
Too Soon Podcast.
I've seen some things, man, and some stuff. I wouldn't recommend it.
Hey, if you guys want to check out the show on Twitter, go to toosoon_podcast. We'll be there as long as we can be. Been getting some weird attention on Twitter lately, so I don't know how much longer we'll be on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram at toosoonpodcastsucks. You can hit up the show at toosoonpodcastsucks@gmail.com. We are also in the stratosphere. I mean, just type us into whatever you kind of find your podcasts on, whatever platform that is. I'm not going to say all of them. You can do your research and figure it out. We're on BitChute now. That's a cool little thing we'll be doing here in the future. Maybe a couple of little videos heading your way eventually. If we get some video capability, we might do that. Honestly, I feel like people don't want to see two weird dudes in their webcam footage talking on a show. I don't feel like that is a thing that is going to be good in the future. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not... Yeah, you know what I mean? Whatever. So, check us out. We appreciate you if you've been listening for a while. Stick with us. We're going to fucking try doing some new cool shit, bringing some cool shit up. If you guys, like I said, if you have suggestions, get at us. Casey.
Watch Demolition Man. Maybe call your dad. He probably wants to see it too.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye.
TSP boys are at it again.
Who that? Who there?
It's the motherfucking Too Soon Podcast.
No, I heard you. You said a bunch of words, right?
Stop making fun of me.
I don't care. If you're wearing headphones, take them the fuck out.
What is that? The future of radio, you jabronis. Jabronis. Cool word.
Don't like it? Go make your own podcast. Coward.